What is going on, guys? We are back, episode 4 of the TQL Wrestling Podcast. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the last episode. Gonna be talking about some newer topics. Some have been out a while, some have been opinions, all of the above. So, Tears and QJ, how are we doing today?
This is going to be a very opinionated one for me, considering certain topics.
Tears, you're always opinionated, so that's a good thing.
Pretty good. Yeah, just can't wait.
Well, let's get down to business. So, we're gonna be talking about Kurt Angle. And unfortunately, Kurt Angle's dealt with a lot of injuries, neck injuries, concussions, really just a bunch of injuries.
Rehabilitation, don't forget that one.
Yep, that one too. He's just dealt with a lot in his career. Kurt, one of the best wrestlers to ever do it, but he's had a lot of issues outside of the ring. And he recently said he's been losing his memory because of all the concussions he suffered. He's losing his memory day by day. He don't remember a lot of things. He's really struggling to remember a lot of moments in his career. Just a lot of stuff. So, Tears, what's your take on Kurt? I mean, do you kind of expect this with all the stuff Kurt did in the ring? I mean, he took a lot of crazy bumps and did so many big matches, and he even said he went all out in every match. He gave his 100% in every single match. So are you really surprised by this with Kurt and the concussions?
I love the fact that you start with me due to the fact that I do have family members who are suffering from Alzheimer's, which is also memory loss. So that's a tough
Yeah,
one right there.
Same here. I've had that recently too.
So it's really sad to think about, but I can see it because of all the concussions and all the injuries and stuff. And this one is a really tough topic because just like what could I feel comfortable saying? It really flippin' sucks, and I hope that it doesn't like deteriorate worse and worse and worse to the point where he doesn't even remember like names or stuff like his best friends and all that jazz. And it, but unfortunately, like you said with the concussion stuff, it now makes me more worried now of like other people as well. A very big names that come to mind are two individuals who also put everything that they have unnecessarily into every single match. Because we were gonna talk about this in the future in private, where we said like how certain wrestlers kind of shouldn't be putting everything in everything single match, and those wrestlers are Bryan Danielson and Shibata. Shibata with the I can't remember, it was a bleeding in the brain, and Brian with all his concussions and stuff. And it makes me think like this happened to Kurt Angle. And with how wrestling is nowadays, there's people who are putting more than just 100% into their wrestling. So it makes me think like this is not gonna end well. Like I get like people are saying like back then it was a lot more rough environment, like steel chair shots all over the place, and people taking worse and worse spots. But it's just like, do you see how many injuries happen nowadays compared to then too? Like how many people need time off compared to what they were doing back then? It really sets you to where like what really should be the limit of how much you put in a match, because this could happen in the future. This type of stuff is why I worry about wrestlers nowadays as well. It's because like later down the line when you hear like these legends, these people that you grew up with, it hurts you as well because it's just like you grew up with these people. It's like when this is going to be really tough to say, and I know this might sound a little off topic, but when Stan Lee passed away, like that one hurt as well because it's just like this is somebody who like made your childhood. So hearing this about Kurt Angle, that flipping sucks, man.
Yeah, it sucks to hear that about Kurt. I mean, concussions have been a problem in wrestling for a long time. And I mean, look at Benoit, unfortunately, with concussions, and kind of was kind of like Kurt. He went all out in every match, especially the diving headbutts he used to do and everything.
And now I'm
And
even more
Brian
worried.
does diving headbutts, so it's still, which I don't think he should be doing. But yeah, it sucks with Kurt. I mean, I think he's in his 50s now, so hopefully it don't get worse as he gets older. But
No, that's why I say like I just don't know if I could approve of like every single match like weekly giving it above 100% because
nah,
like it made Kurt Angle as great as he was, but at the same time I don't know. I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's tough because I mean, wrestlers now are doing so much crazy spots. I mean, you're doing pile drivers on aprons, and you're doing just a bunch of crazy shit in the ring. I'm not saying don't do crazy stuff. I mean, you look at Darby Allin, for example. Is Darby Allin going to be wrestling for 5 or 6 more years with some of the shit he be doing in the ring? I'm not saying it's not entertaining, but I mean, look at Jeff Hardy, and I've talked to QJ about this, and obviously they're saying about concussions with Jeff, but he did so much crazy shit in his matches, and he put his body through so much stuff. I feel like that's why he got hooked on a lot of drugs because it makes you feel better and it takes a lot of the pain away. And he's jumping off high ass ladders and jumping off everything, and his body's probably aching. Like these guys do so much to entertain the fans, and like with McFoley as well. McFoley's losing his memory a little bit, his hearing and everything. I mean, these guys went through so much to entertaining us, and now they're paying for it later in life. So it really does suck.
I think a lot of us take these wrestlers for granted, personally.
Oh yeah, 100%. Especially guys like Jeff Hardy. Like, yeah, it was entertaining when he was jumping off stuff, but we don't know how he felt after the match every single night doing that. I mean, it takes a toll on you.
Let's not like sugarcoat about the ECW guys either.
Yeah, like Sabu and Tommy Dreamer. Well, Tommy Dreamer's a lot safer than a lot of other guys. So, I mean, I guess he's,
Well, like Terry Funk and the
yeah,
Dudleys.
a lot of them guys really went to the limit to entertain. Yeah, it's very unfortunate. You did what's your thoughts on Kurt and just wrestlers in general having all these injuries, and do you think today's wrestling is a lot more injury, what's the word, like injuries bound to
Prone.
happen? Yeah, injury prone. Yeah, do you think that it's worse now with all the crazy stuff guys are doing, or do you think it's kind of the same as it was back then?
I think it's a little worse now, and 'cause that's what happens when you give. I'm not saying don't have freedom in a match, but this what happens when you give people too much freedom, pull out these crazy moves, and just that one spot. Look at Mustafa Ali and Austin Theory.
Yeah, that
That
was
was almost
bad.
it for Ali. Thank God Theory saved him there because that could have been it right there. Like you just got to think of
Yeah,
things like that. And don't get me wrong, I don't mind seeing an all-out match, but let that be. I'd rather you do that on like a big pay-per-view than do that just all the time or
I think
whenever.
I think the evolution of wrestling too also has a huge effect about that too. Because like back then with Kurt Angle and stuff, we didn't really have 450s, shooting stars,
Mm-hmm.
Dragon Ranas, and even the Dragonplex. I'm still scared about the Dragonplex a lot of times. So it's just like I think modern day wrestling is definitely a more dangerous time than back then. I know some people are probably gonna disagree with that, probably say it's controversial, and I can even see some older wrestlers having a lot of issue with that. I'm just saying I don't think like modern day wrestling I can see people doing what they could do back then.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah. If it's a like I said, if it's a dream match, yeah, let them go all out. But you know, got to do it every week. So that's why I like what Triple H's doing right now. Like we're not seeing all out type of people, just mediocre, you know. But you know, he knows when to kind of let all right, y'all could go a little bit more on this during this time, during this pay per view. It
Flashback,
was
we
kind of
had
good,
What about all the NXT Gargano matches?
yeah,
and
takeovers
that
and
was ridiculous. Yeah.
Adam
I think
Cole and all them.
I think the most extreme Gargano one would be him and Andrade. I think that's a good example one.
Yeah, he took some pretty
hmm
crazy spots in that
I'll
match.
say him and Cole at that final match, 3 stages of hell.
Yeah, that match was crazy
Two, I mean,
too.
2 out of 3 falls. My fault. 2 out of 3 falls. Yeah.
And what about Black versus Cole too? The Ushigurushi spot on the
Oh yeah,
chairs.
hmm
That that hurt to even
and
remember.
and that's the thing. Adam Cole's dealing with concussions too. They don't know when he's gonna come back. I mean, a lot of guys are dealing
hmm
with this stuff. I mean, it's a scary thing. I mean, I know a lot of fans think wrestling's fake and guys don't get hurt, but I mean, you still gotta know how to land. You get landing properly. I mean, even last
Exactly.
night, watching Ricochet take some of them bumps from Walter. I mean, he was laying on his neck bad, his back. I mean,
hmm
a lot of stuff
Especially
can
that
go wrong.
clothesline.
Yeah, like And they said Ricochet might be hurt after that match, and that ain't surprising because I mean he was landing, and Ricochet even said that. And for guys like him, he was saying he
Hmm.
don't want to do a lot of his high risk stuff as often as he used to, which I think is why we don't see it as much because he said his body ain't gonna be able to take that as he gets older. Because I think he's like 34, so he's not that old, but he's getting in his mid 30s.
Then again, let's not forget about AJ Styles. Like he doesn't do a lot of the crazy stuff he used to do. I mean, like one
Oh
reason is
no,
because he can't remember how to do the spiral tap. I always love that story, but I
Hmm.
don't see him doing a running moonsault over the top rope anymore.
no, he just does a lot of
Yeah,
safe
that's
moves
true.
like the Styles Clash. The Styles Clash is kind of safe, just kind of know when to land because a lot of guys
Kind
don't
Hmm.
of.
land right.
Kinda.
Kind of is a very interesting word for that one.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Yoshitatsu, I think didn't he take it or something?
I was
Or
gonna
Yeah,
mention
he was. He,
Yoshitatsu. Yeah, like
yeah.
Yoshitatsu, he tucked his head in, and
Oh
you
hmm.
can just
man.
see, like for a moment, his head looked like it just disappeared, and he
Mm.
was never the same after that. Like it was bad. I think there's only been like 5 times to
Hmm.
where the Styles Clash was botched because people tucked their head in and not out. I can't remember all of them,
You said
but
never been the same
Yoshitatsu
since.
is the worst one.
Yeah, you saying he never been the same since that's
It's crazy.
wow. I mean that's yeah. Hopefully Kurt's memory gets back. Hopefully guys take it easy, but they're not going to, especially Darby Allin and guys like that. They're just gonna keep doing crazy shit every week, which I don't
Hmm.
agree with. But
It's not gonna last long. Ain't gonna
it's
last very
not.
long doing it.
Darby will not wrestle into his 40s the way he's going. Maybe even his mid 30s. He's like 30 right now. 5 more years of that.
Hmm. But can you agree with what Vince said? That's why he don't have him do much moves. Or no?
I don't think
Like
that's
the
the
five move of
reason.
death.
It depends what the move is. I mean, if you're taking a Canadian destroyer every single night, then yeah, stuff like that, I could see why there would be a problem.
Eh,
It just depends what the move is. I mean,
Hmm.
if it's Brock, just you're facing Brock every night, he's just throwing you around like Germans, like he does. And yeah, I would not want to be taking stuff like that every night. But
then again, with Brock, he doesn't really have too many moves but the F5. So I think that's
Right.
more on the lines to where like that's just a marketed move for him.
Hmm.
no, yeah, definitely. Yeah, it just depends
F5
what the
can be
move.
botched, by the way.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, it just depends what the move is. I mean, the guys just need to take it easy. They need to look
Yeah.
at guys like Jeff Hardy as an example of why you don't need to be trying to do a bunch of crazy stuff every single match.
Hmm.
Let's not forget when he jumped off the top of a truck to
Yeah,
Umaga.
He was a beast.
yeah, Jeff did a lot of crazy stuff. He jumped off the Titantron on the Randy or whatever. That
Hmm.
that was just nuts. I mean, but well wishes to Kurt. Hopefully Jeff Hardy gets well, and everybody out there struggling with
Be
concussions and
safe.
stuff like that. Yeah, be safe for sure. Concussions are
Yep.
no joke. Hopefully Adam Cole takes as much time as he needs because he don't need to rush back with concussions. Just take your time and
Take a moment to think about like, do you really want to do the spot or see if you can like water it down a bit.
exactly yeah,
Exactly.
because just gotta always take care of your health.
And
Hmm. Health is
I'll watch
important.
Moxley's gonna go harder in all his extreme matches.
Well,
Hmm.
Moxley did get hurt the other night. Apparently, and he was
Of
bleeding on
course
the
he
side of his
did.
head. So Moxley don't play around. You're always gonna get blood in a Moxley match.
Well, I'm
We
talking
know
about
that.
like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I want to jump off of a building through 3 glass tables type stuff.
Yeah, Moxley would do something like that.
Hmm.
He would willingly toss himself off of it.
Oh, he definitely would. So speaking of
He jumped off the
AEW,
cell before.
yeah, that was crazy when he did that. But speaking of AEW, there's been a lot of rumors about releases. We talked about in the last video, Sasha and Mandy. They brought back Paige, her former Paige, Saraya, whatever you want to pronounce it as. She's
I
back.
think
You
it's
got
safe to say Saraya.
Saraya. Yeah. You got Britt Baker. You got Tony Storm. You got Jamie Hayter, who's their next big women's star. Got a lot of good women in that division. I think it's on the rise. So, Tears, I'll start with you. Do you see them adding a Sasha or a Mandy Rose or anybody like that to? Because Saraya has a mystery partner, and by the time we release this, it might already be out. Potentially, we might release this before then, but she has a mystery partner. A lot of fans are saying it's Sasha Banks. Do you think AEW needs to add a Sasha or Mandy to the women's division, or do you think it's fine where it is and they should just build with like Saraya and Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter and Tony Storm and women like that?
Okay, I have a fun theory on who it could be, but I also have like who I think it might be. But then again, that depends on like how long was it technically allowed for Banks to be released. Like, did it just happen?
She's
Did
a
she have to
free
follow the?
agent January 1st of next year.
Okay, so I don't think it is at all Banks, but I feel like she's more than likely going to be one of the next big names to go to AEW. It's just out there. And if you listen to the last podcast, you'll hear that I said like I don't think Mandy Rose is going to be going to AEW personally. I think she's going to be doing more of her own thing before she decides if she wants to still be wrestling or not. Um, I think personally the roster for like what it's set individuals are is good how it is right now. They can always like bring in like okay, we need some people from this company to show up for like, some lively naming. You know what I mean? Like to where like just bringing people here and there to freshen the names up, but right now how it is the staple names.
Yeah, just freshen it up and stuff, the roster. Yeah, I get what
Right.
you're saying.
But for the fun theory on who Soraya's teammate's gonna be, I think it could honestly be her own mother, just to be funny.
That would be funny. Her brother was at the show. That would be pretty funny.
Right, I could just imagine like her tag team partner, my own mother. That'd be amusing.
Yeah, that would be very funny if they did that. That'd definitely be something to swerve the fans, even though some fans would be very mad about it because they all think it's Sasha. They all think it's gonna be her.
She can't be a competitor right now outside of WWE anyway, right?
Well, the episode that Paige or Saraya needs a partner, I think is January 6th. It's past January 1st, so Sasha could technically show up. That's why everybody's thinking it's her, but
But you
Saraya
gotta
recently
plan that kind of
said,
stuff out.
yeah, exactly. And Saraya said, like, she knows everybody thinks it's going to be Sasha, but she says there's a whole lot of names out there who could be good as well. And she's not saying yes or no to anybody, but she said it don't have to be just Sasha, it could be anybody.
Right, you can't just like say, oh, it has to be Sasha right now because well she's gonna be free then. You gotta realize they gotta plan out the whole storyline before the actual match itself.
Exactly. And maybe Tony Khan's talked to her, maybe he hasn't. Who knows? But
I wouldn't be surprised.
yeah, Tony Khan, he has the money to offer what she wants if he really wants to.
You
So, I
got daddy
mean,
money.
yeah. I mean, they own the Jacksonville Jaguars and a soccer team and everything. So, QJ, what's your thoughts on AEW's women's division currently? And do you think Sasha and Mandy Rose would be a good addition to their roster if they do end up showing up? And do you think Sasha will be Saraya's partner?
Uh, AEW, I think is maybe you can get a little more women in there, but just kind of build up who you have and just keep that moving with that. I mean, knowing them, I feel most likely it'll probably be Sasha. I got to get the fans gonna get on their feet somehow more. So I can see it happening.
Yeah, it's definitely a
Always,
possibility.
always have that instant
Could
back
be
in your
something
mind.
we aren't thinking about, like Kyrie Hojo, aka Kyrie Sane.
It could be. I mean, that definitely be
Hmm.
a possibility. Trying to think of big time women that are out there that are free agents, but I mean,
I mean, there's a good amount of names. We just need to think outside the box, I guess. We're kind of focusing more on just like somebody that would get the WWE fans to come in and watch.
yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of somebody who has a history with Soraya as well, who could potentially. I mean, Mandy Rose ain't gonna happen because she has a 90-day non-compete. So I don't think it's gonna be her, even though they have a history and absolution and everything. There is history there.
But I don't think that's a big enough one for fans to go like, oh, I know why they're doing this. I get that. I don't think that's a big enough thing for that.
Yeah, probably not. I
Right.
mean,
I mean, like I
uh,
said, I feel like it could be her own mother.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, it's definitely intriguing when they do a mystery partner. I mean, they just had Kevin Owens say Cena's his mystery partner, which is very interesting. I mean, it's always
Mm-hmm.
interesting when they do that stuff.
And I heard that Cena confirmed it, and it was just like,
Yeah, for ratings and stuff. I see why they did it for ratings because everybody's if it's Cena and Reigns in the main event, that is probably gonna be the most watched SmackDown of the year.
Exactly. Sure will. Mm-hmm.
I just find it amusing that it's Kevin Owens and Cena.
Yeah,
From what
even
Yeah.
from
Cena
Mm-hmm.
was shocked about it. His fans were like, "Damn, Kevin Owens and Cena teaming up? Never thought we'd see the day."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hopefully AEW's women's division. I mean, I like the way it's going. They're pushing new women. Jamie Hayter, a lot of fans like her. So hopefully they keep going in the right direction. But speaking of women's division,
uh-oh.
there's been a lot of talk online. I saw it trending on Twitter the other day. It was number 5 on Twitter. So a lot of fans have not been happy with Ronda Rousey. It said hashtag fire Ronda Rousey.
Ooh.
And she beat Liv Morgan, which I am a huge Liv Morgan fan. I still think she should have had a longer title reign. I just don't like the way that ended, but it is what
At
it
least
is, I
she had a
guess.
title reign.
Yeah, that's true. At
Mm-hmm.
least she had something. They got Ronda, currently champion, her and Baszler. I'm assuming either they're going to face off or
That could
something
be
down the
fun.
line. But a lot of fans have not been happy with Ronda Rousey. They have not been happy with her matches.
Mm.
Her and Shotzi was not very good. Her and Liv was okay. It wasn't nothing spectacular. So QJ, I'm gonna start with you. What is your take on Ronda's current run? Did you like her first run? Do you think something's just not clicking right now? Because a lot of fans are just not happy with it right now.
I prefer her first run. I don't know. I was kind of more into it. And
Hmm.
second run, I don't know. She didn't really. I don't know. You got to just get used to that style. I mean, you gotta. I know you're a UFC fighter, so you're gonna do more technical things, but it's not wrong being technical. But
I think I get why this run is not vibing with fans.
What's your take on that, or what's your thought on that, Tears? Why do you think that?
I think it's because when she first did her run, like QJ said, like everybody was into it, everybody was nice, and it was refreshing and all that to see like her expectation from what we thought was going to happen to what actually is doing happening right now. Um, but when with second run, we've had way more time to realize like she does not like being here, and she does not
hmm
like us at all. And I think, would you say, QJ, that is tainting your vibe with Ronda Rousey? Is the fact that you know that she's not really enjoying this.
yeah, she only want to be champion.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Nah.
Like, would you say the knowledge of having that is kind of tainting how you feel about this run?
Exactly.
Right. So my theory is where we're kind of just like we're the ones that are kind of making it bad by like having it to where like us not being into it is making it her think that there's no reason to put in the effort. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I definitely get what you're saying with
Yeah,
that. I mean, she,
because I didn't
she,
want lives losing.
yeah, and I was about to say, I feel like that's another reason why fans are just pissed off. They're tired of Ronda kind of being like the new Charlotte, where she has to be in the main event
hmm
scene. And I get it, it's Ronda Rousey. I get it. I know there's gonna be fans who say she's Ronda Rousey. Why shouldn't she be in the title scene? But you don't want to just force her in there all the time either. I mean, and fans were really behind Liv, and she finally got her moment. It's like we know she's not gonna beat Ronda Rousey again. I mean, she cashed in on her and beat her.
hmm
Also, if you
We know,
think about the opponents that she had, like in her first run compared to now, there was more negative viewed wrestlers then to there is now. Do I need to name names?
Mm.
yes, Tears, go ahead, name some
Yes, go
names.
ahead.
Well, a lot of people were tired of Alexa Bliss's Raw title reign, so there's one right there. How do people feel about that one?
Yeah, I can agree with that. A lot of people were kind of sick of her champion.
hmm
We had Nia Jax.
Yeah, no comment on that one.
Yeah, no, yeah.
We had we had Nikki Bella, which we all agreed that was the weakest of all her first matches.
Oh yeah, definitely. That match wasn't really all
hmm
that.
And then we had the Charlotte and Becky triple threat, I
Yeah,
believe.
Mania. Yeah, that match was. I mean, it was solid.
Yep.
It just didn't have the ending that we all wanted, to where
Nah.
like it was. Was it Becky that beat Charlotte, or am I remembering that wrong?
I think Becky won it. Yeah, I think so.
Uh, yeah,
Well, I know
Becky beat
Becky.
Charlotte.
Yeah, Becky won it, but I forgot it was like Ronda took the loss or not.
Think I can't even remember. I think it was yeah.
Uh, I think Ronda. I
Right.
think she took the loss.
So the fact like they did right for Ronda the first time, but putting her against people to where like at that moment she was the positive viewpoint of the match. But nowadays there's like more positive for the women wrestlers that she's going up against now, to where like there's just more positive going for her opponent than her, and they aren't using that. They aren't having Ronda be the heel in the match.
Yeah, she's kind of just there. She's
It's
not
there.
really.
Hmm.
I don't know. Something just ain't clicking with Ronda, and don't know if she just needs to figure it out, or they need to take the title off of her, or what. I mean, I did hear her and
Take the
Becky were
title
supposed.
over.
Yeah, I mean that would probably be the best route. I mean, I did hear her and Becky might be the match at Mania, which I kind of don't really want to see them face off again. But I mean,
Nope.
Yeah, that's the thing, to where like her opponents are deciding how we feel about her.
Hmm.
yeah, and they're gonna boo the hell out of her compared to Becky because Becky's back to being babyface, and yeah, so we'll see. I mean, we'll see how this rest of this title reign goes. I mean, Ronda not the worst wrestler in the world, but she just got to show
Nope.
a little bit more that she actually gives a shit and actually wants
Enthusiasm.
to. Yeah,
Hmm.
she does that, then maybe she'll be fine. But other than that, I mean, don't just be here and act like you're just collecting a check and you don't care. I mean,
Because it really shows.
They
yeah,
do.
she don't seem like she even cares. But we'll see. So speaking of injuries, we talked about Kurt's injuries, and recently it's been reported that Randy Orton has a very bad back injury, that it could be career ending, which you never know what to believe. They could just be saying that to make it seem like Randy's not coming back and he pops up somewhere. But we all know how back injuries are. Shawn Michaels was out, what, 8 years with a back injury, so we all know they're not to be taken lightly at all, especially at Randy's age. He's 41, I think, 42, so he's getting up there in age, and you never want to mess around with the back. So, QJ, do you think this is the end of Randy Orton? And if so, what was your favorite memory of Randy Orton?
I don't think it'll be the end of Randy. I feel like I need to see a. It's gonna be the end. I need to see another final match, well, final match out of him. And Randy Orton, he's been that guy. He should definitely be a superstar. Miss, he should definitely be up there with definitely with Cena, because a lot of people miss Cena, and they should kind of say show that same energy towards Orton. I just like the type of character he was. You know, I used to hate him,
Especially in 2009 when he was just,
hate him.
yeah, that Randy
But he
was.
played it so good. He did so good at it. It's like you can't hate him. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
he was probably one of the best heels in the history of the business at the time,
Hmm.
especially in him and Triple H's feud when he broke into Triple
Oh
H's
yeah,
house. That was, or
Top
no,
that
Triple
was
H
five.
broke
good.
into his
Top
house.
five. Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, Randy definitely deserves his flowers. I know a lot of fans don't think he's that great in the ring, or they just don't see anything special about Randy. But I mean, he's one of the best of all time in WWE. His compliments show. He always seems to elevate everybody's in a feud with, whether it's groups or
Hmm.
matches or whatever the case may be. But
Unless your name is Kofi Kingston.
yeah, that's just Kofi.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, him and Kofi, that was bad. But
or Mr. Kennedy, if anybody gets that one.
oh yeah, yeah, Randy, definitely one of my favorites of all time. I hope he gets to come back. Definitely should take as much time as he needs to
Hmm.
recover. Don't rush back, and just
Honestly, if he does come back, this could be very helpful for him.
oh, definitely. Some
Yeah.
like Cornette always says, it's hard to miss you if you just won't go away, and sometimes that always
Yeah.
helps
Like, if he
wrestlers.
takes like a whole year or maybe even 2 years of an absence, and then they don't even announce that he's coming back, we just randomly see him just RKO some random individual, I feel like that will be the biggest pop we will hear
Sure will.
between now and then.
Oh, it definitely will, yeah. Especially if the RKO's like Riddle or somebody who they were
Hmm.
wanting to set that feud up. Could be
or
very
or
interesting.
or maybe if Reigns holds the title even then, which probably is gonna happen. Let's be
That was
honest.
a match that was supposed to happen. It wasn't supposed to be him and Brock at SummerSlam. It was supposed to be him and Randy until the injury.
Then again, they really don't like each other. I don't know if that's still true.
They probably don't, but
Right. I just feel like that would be a big pop to where like so many people are tired of Roman Reigns, and then all of a sudden we see some kind of
RKO.
mass individual, like we
Hmm.
don't know who he is. It looks like it could be any other mass wrestler debuting, and then all of a sudden it's just an RKO, and he does the noodle arms thing, and then he just removes the mask and do the pose.
Be hilarious if they did that. Yeah, that would be a good story. I mean, Tears, do you see Randy coming back, in your opinion, or do you think this is the end of him? I mean, we saw what happened with Shawn. I mean, back injuries, and Shawn was younger, I
Ooh.
think, when he got his. So,
Hmm.
I Okay, so I'm going to be in an interesting situation here because I'm a ruthless aggression guy. I like every wrestler that was a part of that time period. When Batista quit, I was upset. Edge had to retire, I was upset. And now he's back, and it feels odd still to me. I've never been a John Cena guy, but even I have to admit, it feels odd for me not seeing him on my screen.
Hmm.
So having Randy Orton be gone this long, and I've never been like the biggest Randy Orton dude. You two can vouch for that, right?
oh
Definitely,
yeah,
definitely.
yeah,
Yeah. So, but I can honestly say like I kind of hope he's not gone because I still need that type of wrestler in WWE. Is he done with wrestling? I'm gonna be honest, like from a objective standpoint, I think it could honestly be done for him because over the years we've seen he was slowing down. Can we really see like if he was to come back, how much slower can he get in his wrestling?
yeah. It would probably be at a snail's pace, especially as he's older. And they said he's been dealing with this for a while, so I mean, it's definitely been something that's affected him for a good while. And he finally just had to go and get surgery for it. So I mean, yeah, like you said, that could have been why he was wrestling slower than he used to because of his back.
Right. So I don't want to see him gone, but every possibility leads to where like this could be the end of the Viper. And I know that sounds corny. That's the point.
Yeah, that's funny, but yeah, hopefully Randy, if he can come back, like you did say, maybe for one more match. I mean, he did say he'd like to catch up to Cena, which I don't think is gonna happen now with the injury, maybe. But he said he'd
He would
like
need to
to face
win three
Cena.
more world titles.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, maybe him and Cena in each other's last match would be pretty fun with all the history they've had. That would actually
Yeah.
be
That could be
something.
entertaining.
Yeah,
I
that'd
would
be
personally
something.
go for a Triple H or Batista, but that's just me.
Hmm.
Well, yeah, that'd be something. We know Triple H is never coming back. Batista, he said he'd have to be broke to come back, which the movies he's doing right
He have
now,
to
he
be
ain't gonna
broke.
be
Yeah,
broke.
he you know
So,
he ain't gonna be broke. Yeah.
That comment had to hurt.
So he had to be
yeah,
broke. I'm done.
yeah, it sounds like he ain't in favor of ever wrestling again, which is good.
I
So,
wonder what happened.
yeah, I don't know. That's definitely an interesting thing to discuss. But
Another conversation for
Hmm.
another day.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Randy's had a hell of a career. If it's the end, he can hold his head up high, and he's had his backstage issues himself. He's had some drug policy violations. He's had his issues. He even said he was kind of a dick early in his career because he was, like Tears was saying with Sasha in our previous episode, he was young, he was arrogant,
Hmm.
but he's turned into a seems like he's a better guy now, and hopefully everything's good with Randy, and he should just be with his family and go from there. So for the final topic, we're going to talk about, is wrestling more about marketing or the product? And this is a question Tears came up with. So Tears, I'm gonna let you start off with it.
Of
Is it
course.
about marketing or the product, or is it kind of both, or does it depend on the company or who's booking the company? What is your thoughts on that?
I would like to say it depends on the company, but at the same time, it does seem to be where, with even the small companies are being like, 'cause like we talked about in the last episode, Tessa Blanchard being blacklisted from wrestling because of social media or backstage issues and all that. I feel like most companies are reliant on marketing than the product. Because we could have like great companies like PWG. That's a good example. That's considered one of the most fun companies to watch, fun independent shows to watch. It has no marketing though, like, and how many people even know about PWG unless you mention it to them and show them something about it. And we have, yeah, WWE, the biggest conglomerate there is. It is 100% marketing over the wrestlers, and it shows, but it still remains the top company because of that. So I would have to say a lot of companies are seeing that and making it more about the marketing than the product. And that, to me, that's kind of sad to say, but I think it's the truth.
Yeah, I could agree with that. I mean, it's all about marketing your company at the end of the day. And, with guys, if there's a hot woman as the face of your company in wrestling, let's say you put a Alexa Bliss as the face of the women's division of WWE, and a person who's never seen Alexa Bliss in their life, they're gonna go, damn, I might tune in. Who's Alexa Bliss? Or if you got an attractive male and you have them as the face of your company, and a bunch of women like Roman Reigns, a lot of women watch just because Roman Reigns is on the show. It's all about marketing that certain look, and I get why Vince did that because it's smart business. I'm not saying it was always right, but it was smart business. But
And like we were talking about in the last episode with Mandy Rose, if she was to be the face of your business and you were to be on marketing and this scandal happened, what would you do?
yeah, I mean, you would have to. I mean, she's too attractive not to. And I mean, you got all these dudes paying to see her on her site. You can imagine if she was like put on posters everywhere for WWE and everything else, how much people would tune in just to see her probably. But
But unfortunately, that means like the advertisements too, to where like, what would they say if they saw this too?
yeah, exactly. It would just depend what the company is or how appropriate the picture is or whatever.
I mean,
That
you're
would
not getting
all have to come into
advertisers
play.
from Pornhub, are you?
No.
How much money do you think that would give you? I'm
Oh, that
very
would be
curious.
ridiculous. Yeah, that would be kind of
Ridiculous.
crazy.
That would definitely change from PG that fans want.
Yeah, they would go back to the Attitude type stuff with that.
No, not even the attitude here. We go somewhere that we do not want to go at all.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, and that would be something else if that happened. But QJ, what's your take on this? Is it more about marketing? Is it about more of the product, depending on the company?
Uh, yeah, definitely more about marketing. Like I get it, it's a business. I mean, that's like we had a business. Obviously, you got to find a way, to get more money. We want to be on top, and that's just what everything nowadays is. That's just what it's all about. I mean,
Right,
but what disappoints me is it's just so much talented wrestlers out there, so much,
right.
and
We can have the best Will Ospreay, but we that doesn't mean anything if we don't have the money to back it up.
exactly. It's just I don't know. I mean, because like for example, WWE went down. A lot of people stopped watching it because certain people ain't there no more, seeing the whatever Orton, Undertaker, and I've known people talk to them and say, "Yeah, we don't watch it no more." And then if you tell them get into other countries, like, I mean, they won't do it because it's not really. If the New Japan only was on top, I feel people would watch it more. See, it's not really marketed as much, so I don't know. It's just all about marketing, and I get it. It's business wise. That's the point of a business, but personally, I don't know. I just wish it was different, but that's just the way it is nowadays. Kind of don't like it, but I don't know. I feel just so much great potential, but I feel like if you could get more people how they was like relevant stuff like that, how they was to that potential, then you'll see, oh, you know what, this guy was the real deal. I feel like they'll have even more money coming in. It's just but it's what it is in the end of the day. But yeah, that's how I feel about it.
Hmm.
I feel like companies, it's hard for them, especially wrestling companies, it's hard for them to try to please every type of audience because there's an audience who just like the wrestling, there's an audience who likes the story, there's an audience who just tune
Hmm.
in once in a while. You gotta try to cater to all them different people. So it's tough running especially a major wrestling company or any company for that matter. But like, if you're WWE and you're Triple H, you gotta market the WWE, but it's like you can't just treat it like NXT where you're worrying about the wrestling because them fans on the main
Mm-hmm.
roster don't only care about wrestling. Vince has pretty much made it all about more storylines than wrestling, so you gotta kind of focus more on stories. And then if you make
This,
someone like Adam Cole world champion, then the fans will be like, "Oh, he's too small in
They
WWE
know
to be
how,
a world champion." Like
right?
they're just so
Yeah.
used to Vince type guys being the marketable guys like Reigns and Cena and all guys
Mm-hmm.
like that being the world champion that they won't like it. But Tears, you were saying what?
I was gonna say, like, and plus, like, with Triple H running NXT, like, when it was on the network, who were they advertising to? If you bought WWE the network, you were, what, advertising to WWE? Well, then you already got the fan base you need. You don't need to rely on the marketing as hard as that. You need to rely on the talent because you're already on the website. You're already
Exactly.
paying your own marketing right there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, like, having their own subscription service is actually beneficial for that, for NXT at least. But now, when they went to USA, that's a little different because now you're on the main screen TV. You have potential chance to have companies see you and want to invest into you and potentially like want advertisements. But the reason you got it, but you have to do that by having it to where like people that they want to be the advertisement. Like it's when, say, Brock Lesnar with his Jimmy John's sponsored pants. That's good for Jimmy John's, but that's also good for Brock Lesnar. But as a company wise, that's a lot harder to do because you don't have it to where a company can advertise. It's not NASCAR. You can't have it to where like a wrestler is sponsoring insert company here. So it's really like uh, if you're trying to please the company, you got to please it with everybody on the screen too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you gotta pretty much please
Definitely
all the
agree.
sponsors, please all the companies. It's just a tough thing. 'Cause, I mean, you gotta try to please
You got to please
everybody,
all
and
Yeah.
companies.
yeah,
But personally, I'm sorry. Just the way Reigns is, you can't have no champion dominant like that for how many years?
Well, I don't think
And
the
he had to
companies
take a
care.
loss.
I don't think the
yeah,
main marketing companies do care about that because he does have that face to where like he look the fact that the fans know him and the fact
Mm-hmm.
that people see him as the a dominant force. If you were to have an advertisement like say Roman Reigns advertised Burger King, like as an example, you know that's gonna work because people know Roman Reigns, people know Burger
It's true.
King. It
It's true.
is a lot of money just to have him even show
Mm-hmm.
up.
oh, it is.
That's true.
It's definitely.
Right.
It's like with LeBron and all these Nike commercials. Like LeBron's always
Exactly.
like it's a recognizable brand and it's a recognizable
Mm-hmm.
person, so it's always gonna work. And it's
Imagine they get
fine.
Drake on WWE.
Oh, it'd be ridiculous. The ratings would be
Oh my god.
madhouse.
Now, how about make it topical? We'll just have Kanye.
That would be something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That
I
would
mean,
be amusing.
if that's why they bring in these celebrities. I know a lot of fans don't like it, but I mean, like guys like Logan Paul, people watched Crown Jewel or whatever because of him.
That's true.
And Bad Bunny, he brings all
I
the
completely forgot
Hispanic
about him.
community to watch WWE, and Triple
That's
H is
true.
bringing Bad Bunny back for WrestleMania,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why they do it. That's why they're bringing back Stone Cold and The Rock because they're marketable. People are going to tune in to see them guys because they were part of their
Like,
childhood and everything.
like
And like
Rain
we said
said,
about Randy Orton, he's also a legacy name too. Like he's a very
Exactly.
marketable name.
like Rain said to Logan Paul, yeah, man, bring your fans here. That's more eyes on the company.
Yep, and that's exactly why they do it. Because I mean, it's like if Cardi B showed up to WWE, all the
Mm-hmm.
fans who have nothing to do with wrestling would tune in just because she's on the show. That's just how
Mm-hmm.
it is, and that's why they
Yeah.
do that stuff. Because it's like with Bow Wow appearing on AEW. Bow Wow's a very recognizable name. He's been around for years and years and years, and fans who don't watch wrestling will say, "Oh, Bow Wow's appearing on AEW. Well, let me tune in. I'm a huge Bow Wow fan." Like it's just
See.
yeah, that's why they do it. It's all about making money and marketability and smart business at the end of the day. And that's just what it is. I mean, like it or hate it, what
It
business is
is what
all
it
about.
is.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
like it or hate it, it is no matter what you say a smart idea.
Oh, it definitely is.
It
Yeah.
is.
It's like when
And
AEW brought Shaq in.
That's still the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird, but everybody on Bleacher Report liked it
Everybody,
and
they
watched
liked it,
it,
right?
and yep,
See,
and they got
it's
more eyes
like,
on AEW.
see,
Like that's, I mean, that's what it is. But I mean, yeah, it's definitely
they,
about marketability. You were saying what?
yeah, I understand that's what business is about.
Oh, 100%.
The goal is to try to stay on top, not get nobody to pass you.
Oh no,
You
and
know.
you don't want to lose fans either. So you're trying to bring in more audience to grow your fan base.
Especially
Hmm.
in wrestling with like interchangeable wrestlers. I know that sounds really bad to say, but it's, at the same time, it's just like wrestlers are one of those type of things to where like it's like actors in a movie. If this thing isn't working and this person has a negative viewpoint, you can be replaced. I don't want that to sound terrible as it does, but as a true fact, you can be replaced.
Oh, it's like that with
Yeah,
everybody's
anything.
replaceable in
Hmm.
anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There are billions upon billions of people in this world. There's somebody out there who can do exactly the things you can.
Oh, and
Hmm.
for a cheaper price too.
Yeah.
Why you think in
Now, will they
sports?
be as marketable as you? Probably not.
No. Why you think in sports there could be a guy making $25 million? We have a younger player come up who can do the exact same traits as the other player for a cheaper price. You're just gonna say, okay, I'm gonna trade you and use
Hmm.
this person because they're cheaper and could do the exact same thing. They're younger. Like that's what it was all about. I mean,
That's it.
yeah, that's how business is. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment any thoughts you got down below about the marketability or anything about that. Your thoughts on that because that's a very interesting topic. But anything you guys want to say before we wrap this episode up?
Along with that marketability, like comment, put in who would you have as your top face for your market. Not who your top champion would be, but how about the person that you would want to be the face of your like product.
Yeah, that's a good one. QJ,
Yeah,
any final
sure.
thoughts from you?
Yeah, same. Who would you choose?
Yeah, make sure to put that down in the comment. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching.
Peace.
Peace.